It is official. The Toronto Maple Leafs have found themselves a brand spanking new top four defenseman. Came off the radar. I didn't expect this at all, but a 1-year deal, $4.15 million for John Klingberg, Rosie.
Yeah, I love it when something like that comes to be and no one even had a sniff about it. Behind the scenes, the phones are working and boom, we got ourselves a big boy on the back end. So obviously, a nice addition, a 1-year deal. It's kind of a lower risk deal. You're not tied to him forever. And at that 4 point whatever, one something rather, I mean, that's what Radko Gudas is going for. And that's not a whole lot more than Justin Hall's making these days. So it's a nice addition, an offensively minded guy. I think he'll make everyone around him better and, run that power play second unit probably. What are your thoughts, man? I'm glad to see they made a move and pulled a trigger.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I think it's a low risk, high reward type deal. I think it's important to stress like this guy is very offensive minded. So for those of you out there who think he's going to be some defensive juggernaut, that isn't him. But I was quickly looking at the potential pairings for next season. If you go, say, Riley, Brody, McCabe, Klingberg, I think they can complement each other very well, McCabe and Klingberg, because obviously McCabe's more defensive minded, Klingberg's more offensive. Then you have Giordano, you have Liljegren, you have Timmins. There's a bit of depth there, but I do think it's one of those deals that it made sense from the Maple Leafs perspective. It's just a 1-year contract. And let's not forget, like John Klingberg is not far removed from being, I don't want to call him an elite defenseman in this league, but he was an upper echelon defenseman, right? Like I mentioned, he had 67 points with Dallas in 2017-18. He's hit the 40-point plateau 6 times in his career. I think this team was in dire need of a puck mover, and they got him now.
Yeah, I mean, at 30 years old too, he's in his prime. No reason to think that he can't put up some really good numbers, be a quality defenseman for this team. Who knows where it goes, but you basically got a year to see how the fit is, and it doesn't kill you in any direction. You don't have huge term locked up. You don't have big money thrown at them. It's a nice little deal, and just at a year, again, it's kind of just a splash to say, we're going to try this guy out, and he's going to come to town and see what he can do. But when you think about the way that guy will be able to move the puck out of the zone, jump up in the play, find coming in late, find those guys, those high octane, high offensive guys up front. I think it's going to be interesting, and you're already kind of crunching the pairings and whatnot. There could be some good synergy going on there, so it's exciting. We got a big guy locked up, and it's nice to see True Living pull a trigger on something that I think we needed.
So I'm not sure how much you know about John Klingberg, but a couple years ago, it made headlines when he turned down, I think it was an 8-year, $66 million extension, something like that. It was around $8 million a season. He turned it down because he felt he can get more. And this is the rare case of a guy making a very, very bad decision. He hit the open market last offseason, signed a 1-year deal at $7 million. He was caught in a cold in free agency, signs a $7 million deal, 1 year with the Anaheim Ducks. Doesn't have a great year. They had to work really hard to find him a location at the trade deadline. He goes to Minnesota. He's like a depth defenseman there. So he really is a guy looking to find his way again in the NHL, but it's just crazy to think about how much money he turned down, Rosie.
Yeah, and that's it's rare a guy does that. You think you're going to lock yourself up and guarantee your money. And that's the fear of not taking the guarantees and taking the security is, things could go south. And, my one worry about this is where's this guy's confidence level at? How rattled is he by that? Does that haunt him? Is it going to be even more difficult with that kind of stress already on him coming into the Toronto market and be a little bit frazzled? Or he could take it the other way and say, you know what, time for me to put the guns on here and show everyone that, hey, there's a reason I turned that down. It's because I'm a high-end offensive defenseman, and I'm going to prove it here this year. And he could blast off and have a great year. So obviously Leafs Nation's fingers are crossed for that direction for him to take.
Yeah, bottom line, I will temper my expectations for sure. I do think, again, just to outline a low risk, high reward type deal, John Klingberg is a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs.